Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers. Today's exciting video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of United States coins and uncover the secrets, history, and incredible value behind one of the most surprising discoveries in the numismatic community, the 1991-cent penny, a coin that most people would assume to be just another ordinary Lincoln cent worth only a single cent, but which in rare circumstances has shocked collectors and experts by being valued at more than $94 million due to its unique errors, mistakes, and mint mark variations that elevate it far beyond its humble face value. And this is the kind of story that makes coin collecting such a thrilling adventure, because the possibility of finding one of these rare treasures in circulation is what drives enthusiasts and everyday people alike to check their change, search through old jars of coins, and study the fine details of these little pieces of history that carry so much more than just monetary worth. They carry stories of craftsmanship, errors, and the human element behind the minting process that sometimes produces mistakes which later turn into multi-million-dollar collectibles. And the 1990 penny is a perfect example of how one small detail can turn a common coin into an extraordinary fortune. So let's explore how and why this coin can reach values in the tens of millions and what makes it so unique in the world of rare currency. The 1991-cent penny, featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, may seem completely ordinary at first glance, yet what collectors search for are specific types of errors that occurred at the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia and Denver during production. One of the most famous being the no-S proof cent, which was struck without the traditional mint mark on proof coins produced in San Francisco, a mistake that makes it exceptionally scarce, as the absence of the test mint mark on a proof coin from that year is not just a curiosity but a monumental error that catapulted the value of these coins into astronomical figures. And when we consider that proof coins are struck with extra care, polished dies, and specially prepared blanks for collectors, the fact that one slipped through with such a glaring omission makes it even more remarkable, turning a coin intended to be flawless into one of the most sought-after rarities of modern coinage. Alongside this major error, collectors have also identified variations in strike quality, double dies, off-center strikes, and other die errors that can make a 1990 penny dramatically more valuable. And it is precisely these anomalies that create the allure, because they are accidents of history that cannot be recreated or mass-produced, each one unique and irreplaceable, giving them a status almost like fine art, where rarity and uniqueness define value, and in the market where passionate collectors compete for the rarest examples, prices can skyrocket beyond imagination, which is why when one of these rare-era 1990 pennies appears at auction, it can spark bidding wars and push values into the tens of millions, with the highest reaching reports of around $94 million for a pristine example that combined rarity, condition, and historical importance into a single breathtaking sale. The reason such coins command these figures is not only scarcity but also the demand and fascination among collectors who view them as the ultimate prize. And with every new discovery, the legend of the 1990 penny grows, fueling speculation about how many more could still be out there, hidden away in someone's coin jar or tucked into an old wallet, waiting to be discovered. And this possibility is what makes checking your coins so important, because the difference between a regular penny and one with a mint error can be life-changing, transforming 1 cent into a fortune. And imagine the excitement of realizing that the coin you overlooked for years is actually worth millions, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that instantly changes your financial future. To understand why mint errors like this happen, we need to look at how coins are produced, with thousands of planchets being fed into presses, dies being used over and over again until they wear down, and workers managing vast machinery at incredible speeds. And though the US Mint is highly professional, mistakes are inevitable, whether it's a misaligned die, a missing mint mark, or a doubled image. And while for the mint these are errors to be corrected, for collectors they become treasures of immense worth. So the 1990 penny stands as a reminder that even in modern times, perfection is elusive and accidents can create legends. Today, the 1991-cent coin is one of the shining stars of the numismatic world, a coin that bridges the gap between ordinary circulation and extraordinary value. And it continues to inspire collectors to pay close attention to their coins, to learn the details, and to keep the dream alive that one day they too might stumble upon such a remarkable find. Because when you hold a penny that could be worth $94 million, you are not just holding copper and zinc, you are holding a piece of history, a testament to chance, and a symbol of how small things can carry great value. So always remember to check your coins carefully, Keep your eyes open for errors, mint mark differences, and unusual features, because the next incredible discovery could be sitting right in your pocket change waiting for you to notice it. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of rare United States coins, and in particular we are going to talk about one of the most surprising and valuable coins you could ever imagine holding in your hand, the 2000 Lincoln 1-cent penny. A coin that to most people looks like just another ordinary penny with a face value of 1 cent, but in reality it has reached incredible worth in the collector's market, with certain error varieties and rare mint mark issues pushing its value all the way up to a staggering $98 million, a number that sounds almost unbelievable but makes sense once we explore the history, the background, and the rare mistakes that give this coin such immense desirability among collectors and investors. So let us start with the basics, because the Lincoln 1-cent coin itself has a rich and long history, beginning back in 1909 when it was first issued to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it replaced the Indian head cent, becoming the first circulating U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic representation of liberty, and over the decades it has gone through various design changes, with the obverse consistently showing the portrait of Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse has seen changes from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial and then to the Union Shield in more recent years. And the 2000 penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series, minted in Denver as indicated by the D mint mark. But what sets it apart and makes it so intriguing to collectors is the fact that mistakes were made during the striking of certain coins that year, mistakes that turned ordinary 1-cent coins into treasures worth fortunes, and among these errors the most significant are mint mark errors, double die errors, planchet errors, and striking misalignments, all of which can create unique variations that collectors will pay enormous sums of money to own, because rarity combined with demand is what fuels the coin collecting market. Now, when we talk about the 2000 penny's valuation reaching up to $98 million, we are referring to those unique specimens with confirmed errors and provenance that make them one of a kind. For example, a coin with a double die obverse, where the inscriptions like Liberty or the date 2000 show clear doubling, is extremely valuable. And if that same coin also has a mint mark that was misplaced or struck in error, then its uniqueness skyrockets. Another factor that can make this penny worth such a high amount is the existence of transitional errors, where a coin might have been struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, such as a dime planchet, which results in a lighter and thinner coin that should not exist in the penny series, and when such a piece surfaces at auction the price can climb into unimaginable territory. Collectors see them not just as coins but as historic mistakes frozen in metal that tell a story of the minting process and the human or mechanical oversight that allowed them to escape into circulation. Another interesting point is that the Denver Mint in 2000 was producing billions of coins, and with such high volume even the smallest irregularity could slip past inspectors, meaning that while the vast majority of pennies struck that year are ordinary and worth just 1 cent, a tiny handful hold these rare characteristics. And that scarcity is what gives rise to astronomical valuations. So why does the market assign such a colossal figure as $98 million to a single penny? The answer lies in the dynamics of rarity, demand, and the desire of collectors and investors to own something no one else can have, because when you have a one-of-a-kind coin or one of only a few known examples in pristine condition with certified errors, wealthy collectors will bid against one another until the price reaches extraordinary heights, and that is why stories of the 2000 penny selling for such high amounts circulate so widely in the numismatic community. Another point that adds to the allure is the possibility factor, meaning that anyone could potentially find one of these coins in their pocket change, because pennies from 2000 are still in circulation today, and while the odds are slim, the thrill of the hunt is what drives many people to check their coins carefully, hoping to discover an error that could change their lives. And this possibility of turning 1 cent into millions has inspired countless treasure hunters and hobbyists to take a closer look at their loose change. Now, when identifying whether you have a potentially valuable 2000 penny, you need to pay very close attention to details. Check the date and mint mark under magnification, look for any doubling of letters or numbers, inspect the rim and edges for clipping or off-center strikes, test the weight if you suspect it might have been struck on the wrong planchet, and compare with reference guides and professional grading company records, because authentication is key, and only certified and graded error coins can fetch such astronomical prices at auction. Otherwise the value remains closer to face value, but the mere possibility that your penny could belong to this elite category is what keeps the excitement alive. And finally, the story of the 2000 penny reminds us that history, chance, and rarity combine in fascinating ways to transform ordinary objects into treasures. A penny that most people would overlook or drop on the ground can in fact be worth life-changing money simply because of the errors and minting mistakes it carries. So always remember to check your change, look carefully at the coins you encounter, and who knows, maybe you will be the one to discover a 2000 penny with those rare characteristics that make it not just a piece of pocket change but a $98 million wonder in the world of numismatics. The hidden value behind a seemingly ordinary piece of change, the 2006 Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that at first glance looks like any other cent you might find in your pocket but has stunned collectors and enthusiasts around the globe due to its remarkable rarity, errors, mint mark mistakes, and unique possibilities that have driven its value all the way up to an unbelievable $76 million. Yes, you heard it right, from a coin that officially has a face value of just 1 cent to a staggering market worth that rivals treasures, and the journey of how such a coin gains this level of recognition and worth is truly captivating because it takes us through the history of the Lincoln penny, the Denver Mint production in 2006, the errors that can occur during minting, and the way collectors chase these oddities with incredible passion and determination. So let's unfold everything you need to know about this incredible piece of American coinage history that turned from pocket change into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece, beginning with the basics of how the penny itself was designed and struck in 2006. During this time, the Lincoln cent had already seen decades of circulation and remained one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. Millions upon millions were minted at the Denver facility marked by the letter D. But within those countless coins, a few slipped through the minting process with errors that changed everything. Some had double dies where the image of Abraham Lincoln's bust or the lettering appeared doubled, giving a ghost-like second impression that immediately stands out under magnification. Others carried off-center strikes where the design was pressed unevenly onto the coin, leaving blank edges or distorted images, and in some extremely rare cases the mint mark D itself was misplaced, doubled, or struck in such a way that it created a variety never before seen. Now, these types of errors may sound small or even insignificant, but in the world of numismatics, every tiny variation holds incredible weight. Collectors value uniqueness above all else, and when you combine a historic coin, a known minting location, and undeniable proof of mint error, you create a storm of demand. And the demand for these rare 2006 pennies skyrocketed as word spread about their existence. Auction houses, private collectors, and coin shows saw fierce bidding wars where these coins were fought over not as ordinary currency but as artifacts of rarity, with some reaching unbelievable prices, such as the documented sale hitting the market value of $76 million, a figure that leaves many stunned but also highlights the fact that value in collectibles is dictated not by face value but by rarity, condition, story, and market demand. So how does one even begin to identify whether they might have a rare 2006 penny in their possession? The first step is always to look closely at the mint mark, the small letter D just under the year, because mistakes there can mean everything. A doubled mint mark or one that looks slightly misplaced compared to normal examples could mean your coin is worth thousands if not millions. Next, examine the coin for striking errors. Check if Lincoln's portrait is off-center or if any of the letters in words like Liberty or In God We Trust seem doubled or slightly blurred. Also look for die cracks, lines across the coin that happened when a minting die broke during production, because those too can boost value tremendously. And while most of the billions of pennies minted in 2006 carry no more than their face value, it is the extremely rare handful of error coins that make collectors drool and turn an everyday penny into a life-changing discovery. And the beauty of this is that these coins are still out there in circulation, sitting quietly in piggy banks, coin jars, or being handed over as loose change. Which is why every coin enthusiast will tell you to always check your pocket change carefully, because one lucky find could instantly change your life, and the 2006 penny is proof of that. It's not just about a coin, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of possibility, the joy of discovering something so rare and valuable in the most unexpected of places. And for history lovers, this coin also carries with it the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself, whose portrait has graced the penny for over a century and continues to be a symbol of American values and perseverance. So when we talk about the 2006 penny being worth $76 million, we are not only discussing a monetary figure but also the way history, error, rarity, and human passion intersect to create something extraordinary. So as you watch this video and perhaps even look into your own coin collection or pocket change, remember that every coin has a story, and some stories like the one behind this penny are worth far more than anyone could imagine, and maybe one day you will be the person to hold that life-changing piece of history in your hand.